To the third and final
The
topic. Deterred.
Wow.
Deterred. I was going to do a little like,
You potty mouth.
what, deterred? Okay, I'm like trying to get back to the freaking timer. There we go. Okay. The last topic. Are video games violent?
Are video games violent? What do you mean?
So as of late, this is gonna be like super old news
Well,
by the time this episode comes
hold
out.
on. Are you asking if video games are violent, or are you asking if they cause violence?
Hold on, I just wanted the buzzword there, and then I'm gonna actually say what. But anyway, this is gonna be a super untopical episode. Maybe, hope to God this all blows over. But if it's not, 3 weeks from now, when you're watching this bit of episode 29, here we go. As of late, there were 2 massive shootings in Texas and where else? Ohio?
I don't remember.
Anyway,
A place
yeah.
in the U.S.
Which the thing is, the reason why unfortunately, it kind of all blurs together for Americans, as of you and I are, where people around the world probably remember where those places are. It's just has happened so many times that now it's like, where did it happen this time? Was it Texas this time? Was it in Oklahoma? Was it in California?
Yeah.
Was it in Washington? Was it in Oregon? There's been so many.
Happens, almost every day.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. People die from guns every day, from gun violence. But the thing is, there's been a topic that has rose up from the underground because, it happens very often when big games, violent games like Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto, games like that, or Call of Duty, now this topic has resurfaced yet again to say video games cause violence. Before I give my answer, Ashton, does video games cause violence?
No.
I'll let you elaborate.
So, okay. So, I know it's a lot of you who are going to be watching are gamers, and you're going to probably agree with us. If not,
Really? The gaming podcast?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're just
True.
They saw how cool we were. We looked pretty cool.
I don't know about
Wow.
that.
Wow. All right. But I mean, here's the thing. If you look at massive shootings or anything like that, someone has to even go through with something like that. You got to have something wrong with you. That's just a normal person doesn't go out and do that. Whatever your hobby is, you could be a butcher. Does that mean you're gonna go slice up the town? No, not at all. You play games that you can shoot people. Sure, that's great. Does it mean that you're gonna become a goddamn terrorist? Absolutely not. 100% no. You have to have some sort of mental illness or ailment in order to think that would be okay or a just thing to do. That's people who have undiagnosed health issues. That's not having anything to do with gaming. So when people bring that up, which has been debunked since the 90s, it's just irritating. It's just when dumb people try to use logic without having all the facts or research at hand. So people would do their research and see the studies that have been conducted by professionals in psychology. They would know that this doesn't need to be resurfaced yet again.
Walmart reportedly removing violent game ads. Will still sell guns. The reason why this is a big headline, this is written on IGN by Matt Kim. The reason why I'm going to read this is because in El Paso, this was at Walmart. The shooting was at a Walmart, which it kind of hit a little bit closer to home for where we live, because the local city, Tumwater, their Walmart had a shooting too. He didn't get very far, and they got him down, and I believe he was shot by one of the people there. I don't know. I can't remember. It was stopped almost immediately, but there was a gunman at our Tumwater Walmart, and but he didn't do anything. So the fact that this happened at a Walmart in El Paso is a little bit closer related to us, but anyway, here we go. Walmart is reportedly removing signs, displays, and even video game demos that showcase violence. This follows a mass shooting that at a Walmart supercenter in El Paso, Texas on August 3rd, 2019. Vice reported that Walmart employees received memos from corporate headquarters asking for the immediate removal of, quote, signing and displays referencing violence, end quote. A picture of the alleged memo shared on Twitter, and there's a link here, is telling employees to, quote, remove your store for any signing or displays that contain violent images or aggressive behavior. Remove from the sales floor or turn off these items immediately, end quote. The memo says that this includes turning off or unplugging video game displays units with demos of violent games, quote, specifically PlayStation and Xbox units, end quote, and to, quote, cancel any events promoting combat style or third person shooting games that may be scheduled in electronics, end quote. The removal of violent images in Walmart stores also extends to movies and, quote, hunting season videos, end quote,
What?
in the sporting goods section. However, Walmart has publicly stated that it will not ban the sales of guns following the mass shooting. On August 3rd, a 21-year-old man killed 22 and wounded 24 others at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. A day later, leading Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy told reporters that video games were to blame for the mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton.
How did he come up
President Trump has also blamed violent games as a possible cause of mass shootings, and Trump even invited top executives to the games industry to discuss violence in games and at the White House. Despite warnings by lawmakers, there is no scientific evidence that links video games to violence. IGN has reached out to Walmart for comment, but has not heard back in time of publishing this story. And that was from Matt Kim over there on IGN. So, with that said,
That hurts my brain a little bit.
yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, I don't know.
Our hearts go out to the people out in Texas.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe this is reaching to somebody that has been affected by that personally. I guess it's also brought back a lot of flashbacks for people that are across the country, which is very unfortunate. It's gun violence is definitely one of those topics that does come up. There are countries that have banned it. There is different reports of does it help, does it not help. There's evidence that shows it does, and there's evidence that shows it doesn't. So it's kind of one of those, it's what makes politics politics. You have an opinion, you give it, and then you run for election, apparently, because you do side with one or the other. There's no gray area for some ungodly known reason. So, there are those people out there that do say, like, guns should be gone, and they're the reason that violence exists. There are people out there that say video games cause it, but they've been saying about that with music. They've been saying when music was popular, they said comic books did that. They said Magic the Gathering did that, and Dungeons and Dragons did it. So I don't know really who's causing these rumors, but apparently I don't know if it's the 50 some odds that are thinking that these are the causes. The number one video game in the world is Fortnite. The second one is Minecraft. I don't know what to tell you, but like there are games out there that maybe influence the game more with violence, but I don't think that's associated to anything. I think the what was that one shooting, not Sandy Hook one, but
the esport event?
No, that happened too. I don't know. Not that one. We could touch that if you want to come back to that. The one the Columbine, is that the one where they blamed Grand Theft Auto? Was the cause of their violence. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And
that's just someone looking for an out.
Yeah, I definitely think it is
But
the excuse. But I think
even
it's
then
mental
though,
health.
I mean, you gotta have some sort of mental health issue if you can't, differentiate between a video game and reality. Like that's an impairment that you have. Then you shouldn't be playing that. That's you need to get help. If you think that that's okay to
Yeah.
do in real life, like, oh, that looks fun, I'm gonna try that IRL.
Yeah.
Go see a doctor, please.
I don't. The thing is if someone is going to kill somebody with a gun, with a knife, with anything, it takes contemplation. You need to think about what you're about to do in some way, shape, or form, whether that be for a second or whether you've planned this whole thing and you have the assault team to go in and start mass shooting everybody. There is some sort of thinking process that goes through it. If it happens less than a second, clearly it is another issue that somebody has, not video games. If there's contemplation for longer than that, clearly it's not video game because they are thinking about this every day of the week. It is like it came back to even books have been accused of causing violence. Catcher in the Rye was the reason why, like, the guy that killed John Lennon was he said that it was because of that book that he wanted to kill him, and he did. Like, yeah, I
That's
think
just someone misinterpreting things. Like it's just your brain isn't working the way it should be, and that's okay. But you need to get help if that's the problem. Like no one's gonna judge you if you need a little help getting to be yourself instead of something up loose up here. Like it's happens, but you got to get help before you harm yourself or others. I mean that's just thing. Like my Minecraft players out there, are you gonna go out and punch a tree because you did in Minecraft? Probably not. Probably
yeah,
not because it's a dumb thing to do.
yeah. I mean, also the other thing is, I guess you just kind of try to communicate to this. I mean, I'm not a parent, but when I do become that, I'm gonna know what my kids are playing. Like, I will try to figure out, like, well, what is this game? Will I try to stop them? No, because clearly I wasn't. I played Call of Duty when I was in middle school. That's an M-rated game.
Yep.
I shouldn't have been playing that game. I played, remember, no Russian. That
Oh.
level in 8th grade. And I didn't know until last week that you don't have to shoot anyone in that airport. I thought you were supposed to. So I did it every time because I thought it was a part of the game because I didn't want to, like, blow my cover.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did
You
not
could
know
go
that.
through the whole level by just walking?
I did not know that. I thought they would like call me out and shoot
Nope,
me.
they don't, because at the very end of the level they call you out. So you already remained by the time you got out there. Yeah, I didn't know that. So the thing is,
It was hard to do though.
yeah,
It
it
was
was shocking.
If you thought it was, if you're like laughing while doing it,
Oh,
then
no,
you
I didn't.
probably okay.
I
You're
was
one of those
very much
people that
like-
need to go talk to somebody.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really remember what my point was to that. But the
Games,
as a
games
family,
can get pretty fucked up. Like there's no doubt about that. Games can be very horrific and terrible. Like the content in them can be just ghastly. But that doesn't mean just because it's not one of those you are what you eat scenarios, and that's just not. There's no factual evidence behind it.
yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely goes in the line of when you show your kid a movie and they don't quite understand, like, who's this person dying and, like, is that bad? Like, you need to explain to somebody, maybe a person that would accuse video game, I hope to God not, but I know people have, like, let's say the Columbine people that have blamed Grand Theft Auto, and let's say hypothetically they never were taught, like, what wrong violence, which they probably were. They were just weird. This, I don't know. You could explain a little bit more of, like, what the video game is trying to do, what the movie's trying to do. Like, I remember when I did the whole event thing when I did GDoc for a while.
Sure.
When we did the events and they banned Call of Duty, and I mean, it is a church event, so
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
but I was like, I don't know how to feel about that because it was just all of a sudden banned, and then Halo got banned because it was M-rated, and I was like, well, wait a minute, no one's died. Like, it's fake violence. It's same blood. It's just blood from a different person or different thing, living creature, but it was still killing it. But we looked at it. Some people, myself included, looked at it as, like, it's no different than paintball. because you're not actually killing somebody. But then the other people were like, well, person was, well, you're still seeing someone die is the point. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of look at it. I don't know. Like I said, it's that what side do you take? Do you say that it does or you say that it doesn't? Is there a gray area?
Well, I mean, that's
What
just
is
one of
the
those
question? What is
reasons
the answer?
why there's a rating system for games. Like if you aren't at an age where you're able to process things at a mature level of that nature, then you need to wait until you're ready for that. And that's why those age restrictions are in place. Like, you can't buy a rated M game if you're 15. Like you have to
Yeah.
be 17 or older.
Yeah, because I mean we've talked about the ESRB. You weren't here for that part, but the ESRB and PEGI and all those other rating systems are there for a reason. I think every year at every PAX West that we go to, it's in the book.
Yep.
Like I think Mike Krahulik, uh, one of the founders of Penny Arcade, he draws a lot of the posters for the ESRB, so that the kids that are walking around with their moms and dads will know that like, oh, remember to check the ESRB rating here at PAX so that your kid's not playing Gears of War
Oh
at
God.
the age of 8.
Chainsawing
Then
someone
again,
in half.
I may or may not have tried to make Jameson play that game so that I can. But yeah, there is that situation too. Whoops, there is that situation too where, kids are gonna play the game. They're
Yeah,
gonna find a way
they're-
to play the game.
Yeah,
You
if they
can't
wanna play
shelter
it,
them.
they're gonna end up playing it. It's one of those things where the only thing I don't agree with is when you have parents buying these games not knowing what it is and
Yeah.
not watching to see what it is either.
Same.
That's the real problem. When it comes to kids playing video games, they're not monitored. Some of the parents, need to pay more attention to their kids. I mean, that's just an unfortunate fact. If you don't want your kids doing bad shit, you got to be there to explain things. If they're just shooting people up and not think of anything of it, and probably getting bullied online because they're a child. Sad but true. It happens.
Yeah.
We don't encourage that. No online bullying, guys. It's fucked up. But
Yeah, because
you got to be there for your kid.
it definitely goes into the, they're gonna have questions, and if you don't know what game they're playing and they can't figure out why, Smoke Bong 69 is killing him and teabagging him every single time, and he doesn't know what a teabag is, you can softly explain what no, I'm just joking. You can explain to him like, hey, it's just a game. Like you can go back and play this game again, as long as someone starts to understand. Oh, it's just I can walk away from this right now. I don't have to be angry. I used to get really mad at video games a lot, but it wasn't until I started playing games with friends where I was like, oh, well, now I know I'm not the best gamer, but am I really willing to risk that like friendship breakup because of Call of Duty? Like, you start to understand this and learn this when some psychopath says I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare and now I'm going off and I'm gonna just take over a school. That's I don't know. I think that's just a lot. There's a lot messed up, and I definitely agree with you. I don't agree with this whole like, oh, let's just blame this video game. It's probably a lot of mental connections there. It's part of the reason why like serial killers do what they do is they prefer a certain thing, but they understand themselves a little bit more.
They do
because they're willing to
Yeah.
plan things out a lot longer. I've never seen a serial killer blame video games, though. I'm sure there might have been one, but
I'd be curious to see.
if there has been one
Yeah.
that's done it, I don't know. But the mass shooters doing this, I
A
don't
lot
know.
of it's just coincidental. I bet it's one of the questions they're asked before they go to the stand is, do you play video games?
Yeah.
Yes. It was video games, guys. That's that's a wrap.
Yeah.
All
he
right.
he put in Madden once, so.
Damn it.
But I mean, like, we can go back to the Madden situation. There was a shooting at a Madden tournament down in Florida, where a guy lost to the same guy I think he lost to last year, and he just was mad.
Well, yeah, I guess he was talking shit. There was some trash talking back and forth, and then he left, came back, and shot
yeah,
him.
on live stream.
Yeah.
Which yeah, but to me, that's a lot of mental issues because he has thought about that for a year, and then he got mad, a lot of anger issues, got mad, left, came back, and did his thing. He had enough time he could have just left and then never came back. But he got violent because of the only game he played was Madden, a football game. So are you saying that people that are now watch football are violent? They'll go and kill people? Are you saying that, anyone that likes sports? Now it gets into the sports realm. Okay, well now sports is the problem. Everyone watching sports is this thing. It all comes down to the one person. You have the responsibility to deal with yourself, to make those calls and make the decisions. If you're mad, you need to find some way to deal with it. Not go and kill something. Go and try to find something else. If it means you pause the game, play a different game. Go read a book. Go talk to somebody. Yeah, I know it's weird. You can pause the game. There's a thing called the Xbox Live Party Chat. You could just talk to people. I remember doing that. Get mad at a game, but then I just chill in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't need to play the game.
And hey, if you guys need friends, on Xbox they have this awesome thing where you can go to the official club of the game. You just press start on the game from the dashboard and go down where it says official club, and you can see other people who are playing the game that are looking for others. It's a looking for group post. They're every second there's a new post. So if you're looking for a new friend to play with, they'll put, if they are mature, if they want kids or no kids, trash talking, okay. They have all types of people looking for a friend to play with. So if you are alone, having trouble, Xbox can help you out with that.
Yeah. And there's definitely a lot of other ways if you're not just video games, you prefer doing other stuff. There are actual hotlines that deal with that stuff. So it's like, I think the conclusion, to reel it back a little bit, that it's just to blame one media, one medium of entertainment, video games, is asinine, and the people that say that it is the cause of it are idiots. They're being fed this information from something. I don't know. Just to blame something, to not blame the actual thing. And I don't want to get too political on this podcast because this is the Bitcade episode. Maybe if we do PT 3600, maybe we'll touch back on gun violence.
Maybe.
But the thing is, without getting opinionative on it, it really comes down to the person that held the gun in the first place. It doesn't matter if they held a controller, if they held binded paper, if they, I don't know what else you would do, sat in front of a screen and watched something for the first time. There is a mental breakdown that happened somewhere in the line that caused them to do this decision. And I don't know. That's enough I can say about it. So
yeah, I mean,
I've talked way too much of this topic, so I'm gonna let you.
We can only talk about it so much. It's one of those things where it's easy to point the finger when you can't find the root cause of a problem. You just say, "Oh, that's probably it," because you can kill in that. That means you can kill in real life. You're capable of that because you stole somebody's car in GTA.
Well, I guess in 10 years there's gonna be a lot of little killers out there.
Yeah,
because you got a lot of Fortnite players, so who knows?
Yeah, they're gonna be showing up with pickaxes and fucking people up.
Yeah, and stealing brick and tapestry. What do they wrap themselves with?
The Band-Aids?
Yeah, the Band-Aids. They'll be stealing Band-Aids and bricks.
Oh, man.
Trying to be the number one in the
They're
circle.
They're going to be tearing down the city.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Bitcade. Oh, we lost the light.
Hey.
Perfect timing. Maybe this is all discolored now, and maybe the green screen messed up. We had a green screen. I don't know if you noticed that, but hopefully it worked. If not, you just saw a green screen behind us. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for Bitcade episode 29. Next one's 30, hitting a round number. I don't know. We've done this podcast. Oh, well, I've done this podcast since 2017. So, it's been on for a while.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Make this thing continue on. This is our longest podcast on the channel. Speaking of the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell button. But if you are an audio listener, do not worry. Do not fret. Hit that subscribe button because there is a lot of content on audio straight across. You got Bitcade, you got PT 3600, you got Movie Combat. There is a lot of stuff you can just listen to with your ears, your holes in your head, and you can enjoy that whenever you want, on the go, in the car. And wherever you're at, in the office.
Yeah,
I
when
don't
you're
know.
fucking.
On the
No.
toilet. Not fucking on the toilet. Not fucking the toilet.
Never heard of a bumpkin?
Anyway, go check out in the links in the description below all of Primal Target social media. If you want to go check Ashton out over on Mixer, where can they follow you at?
At Ashton_Stom on Twitter.
And on Mixer at...
Primal Target.
There you go. It's also a link in the description below. And yeah, you can follow me personally at Ryan A. Moore.
Look for the logo, guys.
Yep.
Look for the logo.
Anything with the Primal Target logo. We will be at PAX West 2019. And it is going to be awesome. I believe... Hold on. Let me check the calendar here. Banter for a second.
Banter. My balls itch.
Okay, longer than that.
I have some swamp ass. Everything's sticking to my legs. It's kind of warm in here.
Okay, so when you are watching the full episode, if you're watching the full episode of Bitcade episode 29, this weekend, we will be at PAX West 2019. If you're watching part 3, then it's next weekend. So
Yes.
it is going to be the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd. No, it is going to be the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. So August 30th through September 2nd, we will be in Seattle. So we hope to see you guys there. If you guys are going to be there, comment section below what you want us to check out. If you're watching on YouTube, I think you can make comments over there on iTunes as well and Podbean. Also, comment on any of these videos on what you feel your opinions are. We want to hear from you guys as well. And if you guys have topics you want us to talk about, also comment section is below there as well. It's always available. We want to hear from you.
See them sexy words on there.
But yeah, PAX West 2019.
It's going to be a hell of a show.
It is going to be great. We will be joined by Nate. Yes, the roommate from the other side of the camera. He's not here. He's just his room
Usually
is
we
on
get
the
a little
other
wave.
side. Yeah, we'll wave to him if he walks in, but he has not come back in. He's usually his room is on the other side of this camera, so that's why on the other side. Anyway, I think I've kind of went this going.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna call it. I think it's gonna be